Hello everybody, welcome to another day of Cosmoteer. Today what we're going to be showing is how I've made significant changes. Significant, because I've been doing a lot of edits and I've been spending many hours trying to figure this out. So I'm going to show you the old design and the new design. So right here, this is the old design. Now the old design has this mess right here, which needed a lot of fixing, as well as the laser placement needed fixing, the head needed fixing, and a whole bunch of other things needed fixing on it. So here's the old design, and here is the new design. Now the new design, I've changed it where I even have even more walkways up. I got rid of that one extra space so that it's taking people in and out, So I've made a significant change. Now this looks like a really hot mess, but you have to see what it actually does and performs. We can have less crew to do far more when your walkways are actually made to do what they're supposed to do. So for example, they come up and then they run up, and they get up to here, and then they come down. Now they crisscross in between each other so well so that they can come in, come out, and do what they need to do. So you can do a lot do a lot more with a lot less crew with the way that's managed. Now facing each other, obviously they still can stalemate and do other different things. But for optimization to at least have the front lasers constantly firing. Now obviously I've had the rules so that the shields are not as important as firing. The back shields are far more important, such as this heavy shield right here. So see how they put up the heavy shield. Now there's even this one walkway right here that was changed to give it that little bit more speed back. And you see right here, this I don't have that one extra walkway. And there's other things. But you can see right here, exact same crew, almost the exact same ship. But because I have more walkways and it's more optimized, and the shields, I moved this shield out so that this walkway can cover this extra laser. Where this one right here, I have double these right here where they can't walk up. You can see right here, all I did was change the walkways, move things around a little bit so that I have full optimization for someone who can run all the way. See how they come down, but they crisscross. Just changing your walkways. I know it looks like a crazy mess, but you see how they go up, and they come down, and then they go down. And they can literally access the front of the ship very quickly and access the back of the ship, even though the power plant's all the way back here and heavily protected from the front. Now obviously if somebody sideswipes and comes in from behind, this ship can easily get destroyed. But this is for front facing, and this is the ship that I'm going to be using in my next gameplay, or the ship that I plan to start using. I've also put in power capacitors here. I changed up the rules for the lasers to support them, because you see how these guys, when lasers get destroyed, they're up here, so they can instantly start supporting these power defense, the point defenses. Where here, let me actually go back to the old ship because you can't really see it unless we actually look at it. Right here, no power capacitor, no extra point defense. You see right here, there's no walkway that walks up here to this one. Very well, it comes up, but then it doesn't go down. Right here, there's no walkway up, so they walk all the way up. They waste all this time coming up here, and then they have to waste all this time coming back down. So these are like useless until they get destroyed. Once they get destroyed, then they're not dedicated to it anymore. Here, I didn't have the two smaller shields. I didn't have the walkway right here, so heavily changes right there. And then I also moved out and got rid of these mini lasers, put double disruptors in the back, added more firepower by putting in heavy lasers in, so that you can it does just more damage. So literally heavy laser, all these heavy lasers, and just two disruptors in the back, and then it just damage, as well as the fact if you're watching my gameplay, if you're watching No Pause Cosmoteer, No Pause Grand Admiral. I can't even remember the exact name. No Pause Cosmoteer Grand Admiral Engage. If you've been watching that, you will notice that I'm using a ton of sulfur, and I need another ship that doesn't use a lot of sulfur. Now the difference here is I know I have my newer ship, and it doesn't still compete with this ship, but you have to see the big difference with this one. This one has 96 crew, and this one has 76 crew. That's 20 more crew that I absolutely need. Now obviously nothing can replace crew, but for this ship never stood a chance against this ship before, until I have fixed and moved all these walkways for 20 less crew. It can sometimes beat this one. But 96 crew, when you have 20 more crew on a ship, to power a power laser type of ship, it makes a very big difference, as well as the placement of shields. Now this ship does, now that I've made significant, huge changes to it, can sometimes win against this ship. But this ship totally normally does win just because of how the shields are so much closer to the power plant, the lasers are so much closer to the power plant, and it has 20 more crew. It makes a big difference when you're fighting against each other. Now when I'm fighting in gameplay, I still do want ships like this because I can supply, have mining lasers, I can help strip down ships faster and other things. But this is the ship I'm probably going to use just because it's 20 less crew, and right now I need the crew for where I'm at, but I need the damage for the crew, for the type of ship, and still being able to move around and do what I need to do. Now you can see right here, it did significant damage to this other ship, but this other ship will win in most cases just because it has much more crew for when things are needed to, when things get spicy. So, see right here, they're already taking all the lasers, there's nothing left, now it's just sitting there taking damage. Has far more armor and everything. This one does better against other type of ships, like projectiles and things. Sometimes, depending, but this one has far more point defenses, so this one actually does do, it's depends on what you're fighting, depends on type of ship. So those are the ships that have been changed in design. Now another thing I want to hit on here is because I was trying to get another 18-man crew, so bigger isn't always better. And when I say bigger isn't always better, I came over here and I made multiple designs of this. Take the original little tiny ship right here, and we take this little tiny ship right here, and you're gonna watch it play. Okay, what I've changed here, obviously I've added 3 shields, I added a bigger large reactor, I still only have that tiny little cockpit, and I've moved everything out and spaced everything out. Now you're gonna notice a big difference between the original design, or the design that works really well, where it has a much smaller reactor, and you'll also notice that the smaller reactor, as they're fighting each other, it will lose or become red in that sense. It would get red power, or at least it should. Now normally when they fight against each other, depending on the situation, this smaller ship can still win against this bigger ship that has a bigger, larger reactor. You would think that it provides 3 power cells, that it would be better with 3 shields, but it doesn't always win. In fact, this little tiny ship, because everything's closer, it's a smaller reactor, and because how the damage can be spent out better, it can win. So that's why I was saying bigger isn't always better. It just depends on how you have things placed, how you have things optimized, and the type of crew you have. Obviously this bigger is better if I had more crew, but we're trying to stick with 18-man crew. Now if I change this to a 20-man crew one, this one can win all the time. And it's not playing out. You see right there? The smaller ship won. That's why the smaller ship tends to win, if just how it is, because the laser's closer together, things are placed together. It's just bigger isn't always better. But I still wanted a bigger ship anyways, just for playing around and doing with it. So I finally came up with the 1068. And you face that one versus my original little tiny laser 18 crew. Costs more crew. But the thing is, this one ends up being slower because it's bigger. Oh, I changed the design in the front so that the lasers can actually aim a little bit more inward, so it wasn't this blocky. So I curved that out, made it a little more inward. This was more the final design where I added this 2 extra crew members to make it a 20-man ship. And this 20-man ship does perform a lot better now that you add just that 2 extra crew. It probably needs a whole extra 6 more people, but again, I'm trying to keep this ship down to the smallest possible to be able to do damage and do what it needs to do. I think a 20-man crew still is decent enough, gives it a little bit more tanking, but you see, tanking but not more damage, and I would like more damage, but if I want to go more damage, I have to go with a bigger cockpit, because then I don't have enough command points to build out. So I was trying to keep it down low. So if we come over here and you edit, see right here, there's only 1 command point left. So I need a bigger cockpit to make the ship bigger. So I'm trying to keep it a small ship, do what it can do, and still do a ton of damage. Now it still doesn't compete. And when I say it still doesn't compete, it still doesn't compete against one of these pure damage ships, pure damage drone ships. So if I get the pure damage drone ship, which actually even costs less, 162,000 with 28 crew. 28 crew is probably a good amount of people which you would need to put on this ship for it to work better. But you see right here, this ship right here, just because of how it's designed, and you see right here, just taking all the damage in the front. As long as it's face-to-face front on, and I know that's red, but it's using all the power because 28 crew is a good amount of crew to be able to do constant fighting. But you see right here, it just wiped out the other ship. 28 crew for a medium reactor and for the size of the ship and what's on it is enough to power everything. Even if I change this to a large reactor, which I did because I took that into consideration. If you come over here and you take this one right here, which is the exact same chip, where you see how it costs much more, but instead of a medium reactor, I change it to a large reactor, and I move things around just a tiny bit. Watch what a large reactor does to a medium reactor, and you will be surprised at the performance between a medium reactor, which you can see, I know it's turning red because it's using up all the power, compared to a large reactor. The difference is because the medium reactor is closer and they can go in and run and do what they need to do, the medium reactor actually performs better than this large reactor. Because you can see it right now. You see how the medium reactor, yes, the medium reactor is almost dead, but in some cases, that medium reactor one still blows up this one for a far less cost. So, I mean, yes, the larger reactor one did win, but not all the time, and for less cost. So it really matters on when you're trying to be cost efficient, space efficient, and what you're trying to do. The medium reactor one still performs near as good as the large reactor, but I just to showcase that you can do a large reactor and put it in there and do what you want to do. If I put in a large reactor, I would actually want more crew, because you see right here, it's not even going red, so I'm not even utilizing all the power for the large reactor. Now obviously the ships are always constantly firing and this is doing that, but it's all about cost, right? And you're trying to utilize these right here. The medium one won. So those are the type of things you just have to think about when you're building ships. I've obviously done tons and tons more designs, and I did other things, and I was just fiddling around and working with it. But the main reason for this is to showcase this ship right here. Now I do have another 76 crew ship, which is just my 2 cannon ship. This 2 cannon ship mops the floor with this laser ship, but I'm using sulfur. Now I do want to utilize, if I were to just go a whole bunch of these sulfur ships and go with it, it'd be great. But if I just lose this sulfur cache, like if I'm playing in game, I have to spend all that time looking for more sulfur and mining. Where here, I just have pure power, pure lasers, where I can just keep going. Now again, like I said, this 2 cannon ship mops the floor with this other ship, which it will just demolish it. But I just wanted to showcase that this 2 cannon ship is very, very, very powerful. It's designed to do what it's supposed to do for a minimum amount of sulfur. It doesn't even use that much sulfur to take on this ship. So building lots of these is nice, but in gameplay, when you're taking so much damage, as you notice, and taking a long time to repair, it's time consuming. But these are very effective ships. As you can see, it took very minimum damage and just destroying this other ship, even though it's optimized to do it. Same amount of crew. This is pure laser ships. This is more of a supporting ship, where this is more of a damaging battleship. A big difference. It doesn't stand a chance because it doesn't even have anything on it. Now the other thing too, which I know I designed this new one right here, the 1423, as well as I designed out, yeah, this is the one that fixed up the rolls. Both of them 76 crew. One cost a lot more, almost 100,000 more, and one costs less. And in most cases, yeah, this one that costs a little bit more does win more often. But this one is my original design, where this is the one that I built in-game during No Pause Cosmoteer, Grand Admiral, and Cage. This is the one that I built in-game. Optimized a little more. Now this ship's faster because more boosters. The point defenses on the side back here. The problem with this ship is there's no point defenses facing forward. So a missile ship front end will tear this ship apart. This ship does have point defenses facing forward, so it does stand a better chance on a front-facing battle. So this one is more of a support type of cannon, two-cannon ship. This one's more of a frontal engaged cannon ship. So they're very different. Now on a front-to-front head-on, you can see right here this one is more tanky, just because of how it's designed and how it's built. And the cannon and everything is closer. It takes them longer to walk up these little walkways and do different things. So the design, very different, and they perform very different. But I'm thinking maybe I want a couple more two-cannon ships in there. We're going to decide. But right now, the most critical thing I need is a laser ship to start preserving some of my sulfur, because I keep losing a lot of sulfur with my main ships, and I need backup damage. So I need laser damage. And so that's what my next thing is going to be, and my next thing that I'm going to be building out in my next gameplay. So we just had to build out another ship and start going that way. Now, another thing that I do want to hit on too as well is for those that have been watching, thank you so much. What I'm going to do and what I'm going to be posting in this video is I'm going to actually, and if you've watched up to this point, I'm going to actually post a new Google Share, and I'm going to put in these different ships that I've built out into that Google Share. It'll be a link in just this video, so if you want to and you want to try out these ships that I've newly built during gameplay, I'm going to put them all in that folder for the ones that I've actually played. I'll even put in 1.6.4.3. This is that new one, which has been fully revamped and customized and changed compared to the old one, right? The new one has the new, more crew, has the actual power capacities here that can distribute out this way. So to thank all my fans, thank all the people that have been watching my actual videos, I'm going to be posting a new Google Share link. It will be in the comments down below, so you have to go through the comments. My description. Go through my description. You have to go to the description, find the link, and you'll find that there's a new link for these ships so that you can actually play them. That's for the people that have actually been watching and staying through and watching the whole videos, and that's why I'm actually mentioning this at the end. So again, thank you so much for being here. If you enjoy this content, please feel free to smash the like button, leave me a comment, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, especially like something. Do you like it that I'm playing and commenting at the same time, or would you rather me just play the game and have no comments and just watch me actually play? Those type of things, let me know. I really want to know, what do you prefer to hear, what do you prefer to actually watch? And if you haven't already subscribed, feel free to subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, that's okay. Come back once a week, once a month, check out what content I have here. Thank you all again for being here again, and you all have a wonderful rest of your day.